Today in the kitchen, we're making dressing for Thanksgiving. It's semi-homemade because I am using the boxed H-E-B sweet cornbread that's gluten-free. There are other gluten-free boxed cornbreads that you can find at your local Walmart or grocery store. I'm making 2 boxes of gluten-free cornbread, and I'm just following the directions on the back of the box. I'm adding in all the wet ingredients first, eggs, oil, and then the milk. And then whisk together the wet ingredients, and then add in the cornbread packets. And then after you have poured in the cornbread packets, mix that in well with the wet ingredients. I'm using a 9x13 cake pan, and I'm just going to pour that in there, and then we're going to let that cook. I am using a boxed cornbread, but you can also make from scratch a gluten-free cornbread for this dressing recipe. The cornbread is now done, and I'm going to take it out and double check that it's fully done in the middle. I'm going to insert a toothpick and pull it out to make sure that it comes out clean. I'm going to set the cornbread aside and let that cool down. I'm going to take some celery and 2 onions. I'm going to chop off the ends of the celery and wash those up. Okay, I've washed up the celery, and now I'm just going to chop it up. Okay, and I have a large pot that I'm going to put the celery into. And I'm also going to chop up the 2 onions. And then just put that right in with the celery. Then add water and put it on high heat, and you're going to bring that to a boiling until they're soft. While that's boiling, I'm going to crumble up the cornbread because it is now cooled off. Using your hands, make sure that all the cornbread is crumbled up and you have no big pieces left. You will need bread to also add to the cornbread. One thing that I do is save the bread hills a few weeks leading up to Thanksgiving so that I can use those and add them to the dressing. You're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees so that we can toast the bread. I'm using a baking sheet, and I'm just going to take out all the hills from the bread that I've saved over the last few weeks and put them onto the baking sheet. Most of the bread that I am using is the Canyon Bakehouse Hawaiian sweet bread, and I did freeze it so that it would stay good because gluten-free bread tends to go bad after a few weeks, so you do want to freeze it. But you can just take it right out of the freezer, and then we're going to toast it into the oven. Now I have a pan full of hills from the bread that I've saved, and I'm going to toast that up in the oven, and then about halfway through I'm going to flip them over. I've drained the onions and celery, and I'm going to pour that into the cornbread, and then I'm going to mix that in well. I'm going to use 3 eggs and put that right into the cornbread. And then mix that up good with the cornbread. Next, I'm going to get the pan drippings from the turkey that I've cooked, and I'm going to take 2 cups of that and pour that straight into the cornbread. And then mix that all up well with the cornbread. And then I'm going to add in some rubbed sage, and I'm going to use about half the bottle of the sage. The bread is toasted, and now I'm going to place it into the cornbread and we will crumble it up. By crumbling it up, I mean I'm just tearing it into small little pieces to add into the cornbread. I've got the bread all torn up into pieces, and I'm going to mix that up well into the cornbread. And if I see some that are a little bit bigger that I would like, you can always go back and tear them into smaller pieces. I have it mixed up well, and now I'm ready to put it into the oven. My oven was already preheated to 400 degrees from making the toast, and we're going to put that in there and bake that until it's no longer wet in the middle. That usually takes about 2 hours, and every 30 minutes I am going to toss it around and making sure that the middle does get cooked and is not wet. Okay, it's been in the oven for about 2.5 hours and it is no longer wet, and it's ready to serve. You can find the full recipe in the description box down below. Enjoy! Dinner is served. Thank y'all for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know what you have for Thanksgiving dinner. We'll see you next time in the kitchen.